Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. Normally I'm reviewing gear, cameras, microphones, headphones, or whatever it might be. Now today I'm not reviewing anything. I want to explain why I would not be buying the new Sony ZV-E1. I actually don't see the point of it. I think Sony have missed an opportunity here, and they made it virtually specifically for video content producers. It's not a hybrid camera per se. It will take photographs, but it's not a photographic tool. And I want to explain why I wouldn't be buying it, and there's various reasons. The first reason is no viewfinder. Now, I do a lot of photography. I also do obviously a lot of video. I run this YouTube channel, so I'm producing video content all the time. But when I go out, or if I'm commissioned to do a job, which I don't do a lot these days because I'm pretty much semi-retired, but if I was doing it commercially like my colleague does, I would want hybrid cameras. I would want to be able to turn up on a shoot and be able to take photographs and be able to take video. Even if I'm just commissioned for doing the video, I'm always being asked, can I take some behind the scenes photographs? Can I do this photographic wise? Now, the ZV-E1 will do that, but it's cumbersome. It's so not designed for photographic purposes. So you'd probably end up having to take at least two cameras. I mean, I know when you're doing a major shoot, you would be looking at least two cameras, probably 3 or 4, because you would want a backup one anyway. But surely, would you spend 2,400 quid here in the UK anyway, body only, for a backup camera? You wouldn't. You would want that to be a hybrid camera. And there's so many of them on the market, not just from other manufacturers, also from Sony. So you're looking at, I've written down a few notes here actually, scribbled down on a post-it note. The A7 IV is 2,399 quid, 2,400 quid. 32 megapixel sensor, full frame sensor, tremendous autofocus, viewfinder, etc, etc. Surely that represents better value for money to buy the A7 IV when it does the ZV-E1. Then you've got the Canon R8, 1,700 quid. A great deal less. It's not even close to the price of the ZV-E1. You're looking at the R6 Mark II, 2,800 quid effectively. It's more expensive, but it's got, you know, a lot more features, and it is designed as a true hybrid camera. I mean, as I say, the ZV-E1 is 2,350 quid, body only. I just think Sony have priced it too high for what it can do. And there's three fundamental things that put me off it. One, it has no viewfinder. Two, it is only a 12 megapixel sensor, albeit a real, fantastic sensor, because it's the same sensor that's in the A7S III, and that's quite a bit more expensive. But it is only a 12 megapixel sensor, so great for video content, great for 4K video, great for low light. Certainly not great for stills if you are, if you do want to take stills that can be blown up. And you don't know when you're doing corporate stuff. You don't know if a client will change their mind after the event and say, actually, that's a great image. I'd like to use that on a billboard, or I'd like to use that for this or for that. If you're shooting on a 12 megapixel sensor, you're restricted really to how big you can blow that image up or how much you can crop it. So I see that as a downside. And the other big flaw is only got one SD card slot, as opposed to the other professional cameras within the same price range and cheaper have got 2 card slots. So you've got redundancy built in if you do find that one of the cards is corrupt. So I feel there's 3 fundamental flaws with the ZV-E1, which would not make it an ideal camera for me. Now, Sony are calling it the full frame vlogging camera. My surveys, or not surveys, my research I've done seems to suggest that vlogging is the thing of the past. That most content creators are not really doing a tremendous amount of vlogging. So, have they missed the boat? Have they missed, has it come out at the wrong time? I don't know. I mean, it's based on the same design as the ZV-1. And now this is where model numbers get really confusing. This is the ZV-1, which is the little 1-inch sensor camera, but exactly the same design with your 3 capsule microphone module on the top. Again, that isn't really necessary with a pro camera, because you would definitely use external audio. And I find that's a bit annoying. And also, the hot shoe on the ZV-E1 is in exactly the same design or same place as the ZV-1. It's over to one side. So if you are using external accessories, such as the XLR audio device that Sony make, this goes straight into the hot shoe. A very clever design, very smart little gadget. But that's now going to be offset to center. So your balance is going to be off balance. So just seems a bit bizarre. Also, the grip doesn't look very good. The grip doesn't look like you would want to be holding that for any length of time. Unlike the Canon R6 and many other cameras. I've just picked this one up because I happen to have it. But the grip on these cameras is really nice. It's really, really good. You can comfortably walk around all day long and have no issues with a camera with such a nice grip. It is really, really good. And also, these pro cameras have 2 SD card slots. The ZV-E1 seems to me a consumer level camera, because it's only got the 1 card slot, but being sold at a professional price. And it just seems really odd. I know they've included some some AI features. So it's got features in there where it's got auto tracking. And that's interesting. But the only reason I say interesting, I've watched several reviews on this particular camera, as I'm sure we all have, but quite a few of them haven't been able to get that to work, you know, accurately all the time. It's a bit hit and miss as to how well that works. So is that great in a working environment? If you're out on a job, you're doing work for a client, and the client is there while you're fumbling around trying to work out how you get this thing to work, you know, just doesn't seem to gel for me. It doesn't seem to, it just doesn't seem to work. I would rather invest the money in something like the Panasonic S5 II. That's quite a bit cheaper, and that has got 2 card slots, a viewfinder, so on and so forth. I'm into the Canon ecosystem at the moment. I would probably look at the R6 Mark II. That's a little bit more expensive, not substantially more, but a little bit more. That's still got your 10-bit 422 codecs. It's still got all the features that, well, a lot of the features that the ZV-E1 has, but it's got your 2 card slots. It's got your viewfinder. You see where I'm coming from? Also, if you look at the used market and you look at cameras in the used market, again in the Sony camp, you can pick up some fantastic bargains and, you know, have money to spare for buying lenses or microphones, tripods, whatever it might be. So there we go. That's just my thoughts on the Sony ZV-E1. I think it's overpriced. I don't think it's needed. I think it's the wrong design, and it's certainly not a true hybrid camera, although it will take photographs. It's not a true hybrid camera. And I think the vast majority of us are now working with photography as well as video. It just means you have to buy 2 lots of kit if you're going to buy the ZV-E1. So you've got your dedicated video camera, but you've also would need to buy your dedicated stills camera. The other thing with the ZV-E1, it would have been great if they'd done what Sigma done. I know the Sigma FP was a bit of a flop, but the Sigma FP is full frame camera, but you can attach an external viewfinder to the camera. Now, it would have been great if Sony had designed the shoe so that you could plug an external viewfinder in if you so desired to. And I think they've missed a trick there. It's got the multi-interface shoe. Could they not design that to be able to take, you know, a viewfinder if you actually wanted to add a viewfinder to it? I don't know. But there we go. That's just my thoughts on the Sony ZV-E1. I certainly won't be buying it. And I'm not too sure how successful it would be. None of us know really until it comes out. But there we go. Thanks very much for watching. Please leave any comments in the comment section below what you think of a Sony ZV-E1. Do you think I'm talking a load of baloney, or do you think there is, you know, meat in what I'm saying here? But I'd be interested in your thoughts and your comments. That would be great. So thanks very much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos relating to video photography, podcasting, so on and so forth. Cheers for now. Bye.